boobs.
Hello, welcome back to Drafty Dames. I'm Cassie.
And I'm Sara.
And today we are going to talk about our mental health. How we fucked up.
How unhealthy our mental is.
Mental unhealth.
Yes. So, I have some definitions for you folks.
Woo woo.
Fun
Crack
stuff.
that textbook, baby.
That's right. Oh, the spine is bent. Okay, so the definition for anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervous, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. Like you have no idea what's going to happen, like a job interview, what have you.
Test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the psychiatry definition, like the mental part, is a nervous disorder characterized by a state of excessive uneasiness and apprehension, typically with a compulsive behavior, such as nail biting, picking at the skin on the side of your fingers, yeah, biting your lip, hair twirling, which is one of mine.
God, I do all of these.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Is there more?
That's the only ones I could think of. The leg shaking. Like bouncing your leg when you're
doing
sitting.
that right now.
Yeah. All right. And then depression is another one I deal with. It is a mental condition characterized by feeling of severe despondency and dejection, typically with feelings of inadequacy and guilt, often accompanied by lack of energy and disturbance of sleep and appetite. Or the opposite, where you sleep all of the time and eat all of the time. So,
one extreme or the other.
Yep.
That's me.
But it's the same way with
I'm the one that
anxiety,
sleeps
too.
and eats.
Yeah.
That anxiety thing freaked me out because, like, I have symptoms, but, like, those are, like, textbook symptoms. Yeah. And it was like, boom, 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 boom. I don't bite my nails anymore. I've overcome it. Overcome it?
That's all right.
I overcame it. I overcame that. And I still bite all the skin around it. And I bite my cheeks a lot. But I bit my nails up until, like,
a few months
4 weeks ago. Yeah. This is like the second podcast in a row I've talked about my nails. So
they're getting real long, guys.
Like, I'm really proud of it. It's been like 23 years in the making.
Yeah. Because
I don't remember doing it as a toddler, but like I did it as a kid.
You also didn't have to maintain your nails then, so.
Yeah. So like I wanted to kind of get personal and talk about my signs of anxiety. And like things that I've noticed about myself that are like probably because I'm anxious.
Yeah,
like I haven't been to a doctor. I'm not diagnosed, but like I just feel these things.
Yeah.
And like you read off the textbook answer and I was like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
So I'm easily irritated. And one thing that like always makes me irritated is like being rushed. Like I'll instantly be irritated and like let it ruin my day if I'm rushed, which is crazy because what's it called? I self-sabotage because I hate being rushed, but I wake up late and I get everywhere late, but I'm always rushing to get there. So I'm pissed off and like I don't know why I do that, but that's the thing I do. I was doing some deep reflection on myself today and I realized that I'm like always on edge. Like, I don't know. I feel like the smallest thing can just set me off. Yeah. Like I feel like when I'm irritated, I'm angry. Like I can't just be like annoyed. Like I'm mad too.
Full blown pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't like throw things and like I'm not like abusive.
No.
Disclaimer there real quick that I'm not abusive, but like I will like just be in a bad mood.
Yeah.
If I get irritated.
Yeah. Like short responses.
Yeah.
If she does talk to you, she's angry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get very easily overwhelmed and like not so much sometimes at work and stuff, I would say sometimes, but then like it's more so like when the sink's full and there's 5 baskets of laundry to put away, like I would rather do nothing and be mad that none of it's done than to do it because I'm so overwhelmed by it all.
Yeah.
Like, I get so overwhelmed that it affects my ability to do things. Like, calling the doctor and stuff. Like, I hate making appointments. I hate
Ordering
calling the
takeout.
doctor.
I mean,
yes.
just interacting with people.
I can't even order Chinese food.
Yeah.
But I'm like a social butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like doing things I have to do.
Yep.
It's stupid.
But it's weird. Like, I'm that way with myself, but if you needed me to call, I would. I would have no problem doing it on someone else's behalf. If you're like, dude, I just can't call the doctor today, I'd be like, so Kathy needs to make an appointment today. Like, I could do that, no problem. But if it was for me, I'd be like, Corey, call. I'm not calling.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% get that.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm this way. I'm always like worried. I wouldn't say always, but I get worried easily, and I always expect the worst.
Absolutely. 100%.
The worst outcome, that's what's going to happen. My procrastination, like I said earlier with me being overwhelmed, like I feel like that's a symptom of anxiety because it takes me forever to get up the nerve to do anything.
Squanch just got all up in my face.
She was giving her kisses.
It was beautiful.
Sometimes my anxiety is so high I get migraines, like pukey, bad migraines, just because like my blood pressure is so high all day, I assume. I overstress about small things, like stupid, trivial things I stress about. And Russell's like, why are you even worried about that? And I'm like, because I have to be.
Yeah.
Like, it would, seriously, like, if I accidentally run a red light, like, I'm worried that I'm getting a ticket for, like, 2 weeks because they have those cameras. I am sort of a perfectionist. Like, there's some things that I'm like, it's good enough. But then, like, things that I create, like my art or my crafts, like, I'm self-loathing. It's never good enough. And, like, I get mad. And everyone's like, oh, it looks really good. I'm like, it looks like fucking shit. And, like, I never like anything that I do. But that's, like, normal for, like, quote, unquote artists. I won't call myself an artist, but that's, like, a normal thing for, like, an artistic brain. So, I don't know.
Like, I could be happy with it, but I'm always going to tell you 15 things I could have done better. Like, I could have nailed this chick's hair color, but I'm going to be like, I didn't feather it good enough there. The color came down too low there. Like, 75 different things that I could have done different.
Yeah, but that's, like, improving.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm never going to do this again, and I fucking hate it. And it looks like shit. And then Russell's like, oh, my God, it's a beautiful masterpiece.
Yeah, we all
and
love
I'm like,
it.
no, it looks like shit. Like,
Burn
I did
it.
all those. I hate all of those.
They're all so good.
I'm gesturing to my wall.
Yeah.
Wall-o paintings.
Yeah, she's got 5 beautiful paintings. And
Oh, I didn't paint that one. That one's a poster.
Oh, just kidding.
There's
4
only 4.
beautiful paintings.
They're
I
not
really
that
thought
great.
you did that one.
No, that would have been cool.
Yeah. That's why I was like, damn, that one's real good. Why do you hate that one?
I don't hate that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, they can't
Money well
they can't
spent.
see what we're
Yeah,
talking
it's
about.
fine.
I also have some insomnia. Like, I want to stay up late and sleep in. Like, I hate getting up in the morning.
Yep.
And I hate going to bed at night.
Yep.
Sometimes I get, like, shaky when it's bad. Like, I'll have, like, nervous shakes. Yeah. And my hands and feet sweat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I made an important phone call the other day. I was out on the porch with Russell, and I made a very important phone call that was like a yes or no of my fate. I'm being dramatic, but I made a phone call, and like while it was ringing, I like gestured my hand toward Russell, and I was like, feel my palms, they're sweating. And he's like, oh my God.
Yeah. He's like Eminem over here.
Yeah. And it like the phone was just ringing and they were sweating. Like I hadn't even
happened
talked to this person yet.
Yep.
So that's another thing I do. And like muscle tension is a really bad thing. Like my shoulders, my middle of the back probably just hurts because of my boobs, but my lower back and my shoulders is where I hold it all. And just like Saturday night, Russell was rubbing my shoulders, and he was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, he was shocked.
Because they were so tense, and, like, they're still sore today.
Yeah.
But I had, like, knots, and, like, they were hard. All my muscles were super hard and tensed up, and it's awful. And it doesn't even feel good to get them rubbed because he has to rub it so hard to, like, break up the knots and stuff. So it just, like, hurts. Which you were talking about massages hurting, and he's like, if they don't hurt you, they ain't
doing
working.
it right, yeah.
So, yeah, it, like, doesn't even feel great. I'm just like, just fix it. Ow.
Fix me, fix me, fix me.
And it, like, kind of hurts. So that's my spiel. Now you know all my little quirks and how messed up I am. Oh, and it's hereditary, but I'm going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
That's another sign.
Yeah.
I skipped. Okay. Go.
My turn. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the story about how I was clinically diagnosed with anxiety and depression.
Oh, my God. You're going to tell us a story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world?
I did, yes. It was a bad day.
Sorry, I don't want to joke about it.
A real
but
bad day.
It all just worked.
Yeah, you can joke about it. So I was at school.
I feel like shitty now.
You're good. I have to joke about it sometimes too, or it just seems too real.
You're going to tell this story. I don't know this story, and she's going to tell this story. It's going to be super sad, and I'm going to be an asshole for telling my joke.
No, it's all
I
right.
was just quoting a song. It was unrelated. Go ahead.
It's a good song, though. I do love that song, so I appreciate it. So it was Halloween about 6 years ago. I remember this because I was in school and everything and dressed up, and I went to the doctor's office.
What were you dressed as?
I was just 90s grunge.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, like shorts with the pantyhose and the flannels and all that jazz, because we still had to stay within dress code, so had to cover bits and bobs that I couldn't show and what have you. But still, sitting in the doctor's office, gothed out makeup, and the doctor comes in and is like,
and he's like, there is a problem.
Yeah, that's what I felt like, honestly. He's like, why are you here? And I was like, I think I have depression. As I'm wearing all of this garb and
he's
stuff.
like, you do.
Yeah,
he doesn't even talk to you.
Yeah, 5 seconds in and out, boom. No, but I'm at school. I'm doing my appointments and everything. My mom comes in that day because she needed to get her hair done. And we didn't control our books back then, so they just put stuff on our books wherever they wanted to.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, I never knew what I was doing. So my mom was booked out for, like, an hour for her hair color. And I was like, no, it's fall. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm not salon ready. I'm 2 months into school.
Yeah,
like,
it's going to take a while.
Yeah, like 4 hours for something that takes me now, like, an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But they booked me something right after that, and I said, I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm not going to be done.
I won't have enough time. And so my teacher's like, well, just do something different on your mom then. Yeah, the teacher didn't give a shit at all. She's like, just do something different on your mom then, so that way you can have time. And I was like, the school we went to, like, we had to pay, like, salon prices for a hair color. So she was going to be spending, like, $80 on her hair color. And I was like, I'm not doing something else because she's still going to be paying that same amount of money for something that she doesn't even want.
Yeah.
So I got pissed off. I put up all my stuff, and I said, fuck your books, I'm going home. Well, then they're like, it's a Saturday. You'll be kicked out if you don't have a doctor's note. So I was like,
I'm going to go get a doctor's note.
Well, okay then. And I'm like crying all the way from Kokomo to Frankfurt. And I tell Corey, I was like, do you think I should actually be checked out for something because I shouldn't have snapped the way I did? It wasn't that big of a deal. Like, I could have just
asked your mom.
Yeah, had her come in another day.
I mean, I'm pissed off about it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I was furious. And Mom was upset, too, because she's like, I know I'm your mom, but, like, that's rude. Like, if I was a paying customer and I wasn't getting what I wanted, like, I'd be pissed, too.
There was like, no other girl that could take this other woman.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess not. I don't
remember. Not a single one.
Yeah. But they're on my books. And so I left, and I was crying. I was like, I shouldn't have snapped like that. Like, I was super upset. Corey's like, yeah, we might have them, like, see what they can do for you, see if they can give you a medication, because, like you, I'm a very anxious person. Something could have happened in 3rd grade, and I'll sit up at night and just think about what I did wrong in this situation.
Agreed.
And there's been times where I'm almost tempted to message the person that I had an altercation with and be like, I'm sorry I did this to you. I'm sorry this is what happened. Like, and it was like literally kindergarten or 3rd grade, or I don't even know that they would even remember that this happened, but it has such an impact on me still to this day where I stay up at night about this.
You know what's helpful for that sometimes is like making an email and like
pretending like you're emailing
the ability to press send like makes you feel better.
Yeah.
And it could just go to a trash email you never sign into again.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, and just email like
putting
all your
it out
sorries
into the world. Yeah. And that's what another thing the doctor told me was like, write notes to the person. Like they'll never see it, but just you putting it out into the world, like you said, is good enough sometimes.
Did you try it?
No.
Oh.
Because I thought it was stupid at the time.
No, it really does. And like, that's why I think kind of with the digital age, like you said, you wanted to message them. So like, you know, get it in your head that that's their email and you're going to send this to them. And then the ability of it hitting send and it going away.
That's good enough.
Like that, kind of calms your mind.
Yeah.
Because it's
in
gone.
my mind, like I've apologized.
A journal, you're like, well, okay, close the journal and put it back on your shelf, knowing
collecting dust.
They're never going to get it, you know?
Yeah.
But then like that way, it's like, oh, it actually left. It's gone.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can ease up a little.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, there's just times where I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and tap Corey because I'm crying because I haven't been to sleep yet and I can't sleep and I can't shut my brain off.
It freaks you out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, I have to get up in 3 hours to get ready for work. And then I'm stressed about the day at work I'm going to have. And like, it's just a vicious cycle.
I do that same shit.
And like, they put me on some pills. I won't say names just because I won't say names, but I was
message her if you have questions.
Yeah. I was guinea pigged for months. Like they're like, well, try this. And then we increase the dosage when that doesn't work. And then, oh, well, we'll stack these because this is good for your depression and your anxiety. So it'll like double up the anxiety and then kick your depression out too. I mean, I was on 8 different medications, I think. And then the last ones that they finally put me on that they still remind me I have refills for, and I haven't taken them in over probably 2 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I still get an email, your fluoxetine's ready. Like, okay, cool. I'm not picking it up just like I haven't for the past 18 months. Like, move on.
Yeah. That's pretty common, though, for them to try a lot of things because since it is, like
it very
scientifically
much is
a chemical imbalance, they don't know what chemicals are going to react and stuff, and it's very trial and error.
Yeah.
Because, like, you and I, we do have similar symptoms, but that doesn't mean...
My body type is way different than your body type.
It doesn't mean what you have will help what I have, you know?
And so, with you saying it is a hereditary thing, we found this out with Corey. His mom reacted badly to a drug, and they put Corey on it, and he reacted badly to it. Well, he was telling his mom all this stuff, and she's like, I'm allergic to that. That made my symptoms, like, 10 times worse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so...
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing about depressions. Like, oh, may cause suicidal thoughts. What?
You're already fucking having them. Like, why increase that? Why?
Exactly. Like, just whatever makes that happen, take it out of all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was always so crazy to me, even as a kid, seeing that on commercials, like Zoloft. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
So he said, he's like, well, what are you on? Because my doctor said that since, they're 50% your dad, 50% your mom, like, chances are you have a lot of the makeup of the same thing. So she said whatever she was on, and they tried him on it, and it did work for a while, but he has since removed himself from the pills as well and just trying to deal with it on his own type of thing. And that's pretty much where I was, too. Like, I got to the point where... I couldn't feel anything at all. I couldn't feel happy. I couldn't feel sad.
You're just numb.
Yeah. And that's what, like, Corey...
A lot of them do that.
Yeah. And I'll take a quote from him because he's like, there's times where you're supposed to feel sad. Like, if a family member passes away or a sad part in a movie. And he's like, I couldn't feel anything.
Yeah.
At
you're
all.
supposed to have emotions, but it's when the sad is taking over too much, then they just give you pills so you don't feel anything.
You don't feel anything at all.
Because they can't just make you not feel sad.
Yeah. Like, they have to get that
balance right. They can't, like, even regulate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
it just like blocks the serotonin and the dopamine or whatever instead of just blocking
the
one
that
you
it's
know
supposed to. Yeah, it's just gonna deaden them all instead of just the one they're trying to get.
And I read this quote, and I'm not gonna quote who it is because I don't know, but it said something about how you have to feel sad in order to know what happy is. So like,
sounds like Bob Ross.
probably
Sounds like something he would say.
but like you don't know what happy feels like if you're always happy.
Yeah.
Like you have to have sad moments so that you can appreciate being happy because you're
Yeah.
like, oh, this feels great.
Yeah.
But you don't know if it feels great if you don't know the bad
that's
too.
always how you
Like,
feel.
You're supposed to have feelings. Watch Inside Out.
I've never seen that
Oh
movie.
my God, you have to.
I will
It's so
watch
good.
it.
I've watched it so many times. Watch Inside Out.
But
over arc of the podcast is to watch that.
There's your plug for the day. But the side effects that I had far outweighed the feeling of being anxious and stuff like that. So I was just like, I'm done. I don't want to take them anymore. And I'm pretty sure that was April of 2017, around there-ish.
Okay.
So about 2 years now. A little over 2 years now that I've just stopped taking them.
What were your other side effects other than being zombified?
So, I told him, I cannot shut my brain off and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is impossible for me to just go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
The pills he gave me cause insomnia. And I told him that. I was like, why would you even try these when you know that's already a factor of my anxiety and stuff? He's like, well, that's the lowest dose we can start with. And I was like, I don't want these.
I
like,
don't want
I'm
more
staying
dose.
Up, yeah.
I don't want a bigger dose.
Yeah, like I'm already staying up until 4 o'clock myself. Now I'm seeing 7, 8 o'clock and going 24 hours without sleep.
That one's like a stimulant one.
Yeah.
To help you not feel sad.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what
that
he
would
said. It's the depression
make
thing.
Your anxiety be higher. A stimulant?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. Also, I know you probably had more symptoms, but I'm going to interject.
Go for it.
I feel like sometimes doctors don't listen to like everything. And like, I don't know. I've not seen a doctor about mental illness, let alone like a therapist.
No, it's very much you walk in and be like, Doc, this is the way I'm feeling. He goes, I'm going to put you on this, and then boom.
Yeah, it's
you're
like
on that for a month.
They start at the most common and go from there.
Yeah.
Which is fine, at least you're doing something, you're getting the ball rolling.
Yeah.
But like, and you didn't go to like a therapist, did you? You went to like
Never.
a doctor.
Yeah.
So like maybe the therapists are better because they do take time to listen and take notes and like hear you out, so then they can match you up to the right medicine the first time.
Psychiatrist.
Okay, whatever.
They do the medicine. Therapists are just to hear you a bitch.
A psychiatrist.
There you go.
But I mean,
Yeah. Because they get to learn you. They know your ins and outs.
Yeah.
They know your tics, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The doctor has 20-minute window to find out what's going wrong with you.
and
then
scribble.
They throw down some pills down your throat.
Yeah. I agree.
Not that I'm knocking that. If it works for you and you're doing great and you're not feeling any negative side effects, keep on doing that.
Yeah, lucky you. You didn't have to go through the trial and error.
I mean, even if you did get guinea pigged and you finally found the right mix of drugs.
We're glad you found the right
I'm
one.
so happy something worked for you, because that's not the case for me.
It's so rare that they work.
Yeah.
Like, I know we talked about it briefly being hereditary, and skip ahead here a little bit, but I did read that anxious brains and depressed brains are inherited.
Mm-hmm.
And like all my life, like it's also environmental because you can have PTSD and things like that. But like my mom and my grandma are the most anxious people I know. And I know they've both been on a million different medicines because I've heard them, through my life talking about it on the phone. Yeah, they put me on this. No, I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And so like me watching the women in my life be anxious and worried all the time, like mine's a double whammy. I feel like I have the environmental, whether you like it or not, you're your mother's daughter and your father's daughter,
Yep.
So I kind of picked up the habits that way, the nail biting, the cheek biting. My mom does both of those. But then like the mental stuff, like they both did it, and that could also be hereditary. But like the little ticks and stuff I have that are physical are probably more environmental from watching.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're around someone long enough, you pick up their habits.
Yep.
And I was around my mom for quite a long time.
Yeah. Majority of your life.
And my grandma, for that matter. But
I think that's what bothered me, though, is that, like, while my parents were going through a divorce or whatever, they were depressed.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't suffer from depression.
Yeah. It was like
that's a sad time in their life.
Yeah.
They're depressed.
Yeah. There's
But
a difference. You can have episodes and then
exactly.
you can be depressed.
Yeah, and you can be anxious without having anxiety. Like,
Yeah.
you have an interview coming up or something, you're going to be anxious.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, after the interview's over, you go to
Yeah.
sleep the next night and you're fine.
Yeah, and the website did stress that there were, like, the websites I, you know, went to, I can't cite them because I didn't.
Right, yeah.
But they, like, kind of stressed that there is a difference between having anxiety is normal.
Yeah.
Having an anxiety disorder
Yes.
is different. And they
Yes.
always called it an anxiety disorder
Yeah.
when they were referencing the
Same
mental
way. Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Because, like we're saying, like, everybody gets anxious, everybody gets depressed. I'm sure at one point in time you've been sad about something. I mean, your dog ran away, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But no one in my family openly talked about it,
Yeah.
having this disease. If they have it, like, I never heard anything from it. So, like, I felt like a failure
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't handle my problems myself anymore, and I had to rely on a drug to even get through the day type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tried explaining it to people, they can't wrap their brain around it. Like, if you don't have it, you don't know.
Exactly.
And, like, you resonate more because you think you might have anxiety.
Yeah.
But someone who is a happy-go-lucky person all the time, they're just like, well, just don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Susan. If I'd have just thought of that an hour and a half ago,
Yeah.
this all could have been avoided.
Yeah. But you're not a failure. Lots of people have it. There's just a stigma around it, and
Yeah.
people don't want to talk about it, especially the older generation. Like,
For
it's
whatever
just
reason.
now
Yeah.
coming around that people are talking about it.
Yeah.
Just now. Like, overhearing my mom and my grandma talk's way different than what you see online and stuff now. And
Yeah.
so, like, just 'cause they didn't talk about it didn't mean they weren't struggling.
Right.
And people also go to therapy in secret.
Yeah.
Because there's a stigma.
And
Like,
they're so
do
ashamed
you know where
of
your
it.
mom was when you were at school?
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like,
Yeah.
so she probably wasn't dealing with it all on her own, or your
Yeah.
grandparents or your uncles and aunts, you know, like.
Yeah.
And even if they didn't go to therapy, they could have been taking the medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't know. So
Yeah, and that was
don't feel like a failure,
Yeah.
especially now.
Yeah.
Like, I get it back then, but
Yeah.
especially now.
Yeah. And that was, 6 years ago, Sarah. I was 20 years old, just living on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just a lot of things happening.
Overwhelming.
Like, going to
Yeah.
school was a huge thing. Like, trying to juggle school and a full-time job. Like, there was so much stress on my plate. Like, I finally just snapped.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. I don't get emotional very often. Those of you who know me probably know this. Like, if I cry, it's something seriously
Yeah.
wrong. And I remember just for a week straight after he told me that I had this, it was hard to tell myself, like, you can't do it all your own.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get help. And that's when I wanted to become an advocate and let everyone else know that's struggling with this stuff. Like, you're not alone. 100% not alone. And if anyone comes to me and says they have depression or they're suicidal or they have anxiety, like, I'm an open ear all the time because I know how serious this is to just feel like you've completely lost control. And it's self-sabotaging a lot of the times because you want to do all this, but then your brain's like, nope, not today.
Yeah.
Not today. You can't. I won't let you.
Even things you want to do.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I've had to bail on people.
Things you've looked forward to.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of last-minute
Sucks.
canceling plans because I can't make myself leave the house and deal with people. And I tell Corey, put on an act. Because a lot of the time, like, I don't want to be around people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to do the laughing at the jokes when inside I'm dying. Like, it's hard to go out and socialize and do stuff when you didn't even really want to take a shower that day. but yet you look great and smile in all the pictures, and no one would know.
Yep.
And it's just physically exhausting, too, trying to put on this show for everybody to let them know that you're still okay. You're still you.
Mm-hmm.
But a different you.
You just don't feel like you.
Yeah.
You have to act like you.
Mm-hmm. And, like, looking back at my teenage years and stuff, I wasn't a social kid. I didn't go out and do a bunch of stuff. But I remember texting my mom and being like, hey, so-and-so wants me to do this. In a separate bubble, I'll be like, tell me I can't go.
Mm-hmm.
And then delete that. And then she'll be like, no, sorry, not tonight. I'll be like, mom said I can't go.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I just told her, like, get me out of this. I don't want to
Yeah.
do this. But I don't want to tell them I don't want to hang out with them.
Yeah.
Because then they'll be like, well, what's wrong with me? Why don't you want to hang out with me?
Yeah. Or we're not your friend anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's high school and middle school.
High school bullshit. But yeah, that's what I was just thinking about today. Like, I don't know how many times I texted my mom, and a separate text was like, I really don't want to do this. Just tell me no, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
But then I would delete that I said that, obviously, and then just show everybody her response.
No, sorry,
like,
she said no. I've definitely done that before. Probably not as often as you, because I was social, but like a lot of my shit was at home.
Yeah.
Like school was like my escape.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I liked going out with my friends and stuff like that. But
I remember even in elementary school, though, like staying up and cleaning my room.
yeah,
Because that's a
rearranging
thing.
it.
Yes.
Or painting your nails.
Yes.
Until like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was just something I would do because I had to occupy my brain, or it would be 60 miles away, like thinking about something that shouldn't even think about.
Lay in bed crying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Me too.
And like Corey's slowly realizing too, he's just recently been diagnosed within the last couple of years, and he's like, that was probably depression, and then tell me the story. That was probably depression. And I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing, like, how long we've lived with something before we've done something about it.
Yeah. And not even known about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just now like, holy shit, I have anxiety.
Yeah, because it's so not talked about.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even say that I have depression. I think I have the episodes.
Yeah.
Like just like every 3 months I get real down in the dumps for a week or so, maybe 2. And then,
but they say
it's fine.
anxiety
But mine's
and
mostly
depression,
like the anxiety. But yeah, they like kind of go hand in hand because it's your brain telling you to not do shit pretty much
your
overall.
Anxiety says you have to do it all and do it today, and then your depression is like, nah, not today, maybe next week.
Yeah.
And that's what I hate too, is like when I go to do something, I have to do it to its fullest and get it completely 100% done. But in the meantime, I'm doing this, I start 6 other projects.
Yeah.
And, like, they all have to get done. Whereas I could have just finished one in its entirety. Now I have 8 different projects going on, and they're half completed. Because in my mind, I was like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. And it's just...
Anxiety.
Yes.
Depression, anxiety. Dangxiety.
Dangxiety. That's right.
Got dangxiety.
Hashtag got anxiety. That's right.
That's what it is. That's what I'm calling it.
They suck.
So I have ways you can reduce anxiety, but you can't get rid of it. That's what they told me on the interwebs.
Yes.
Can't get rid of that shit, but you can help it.
Trust the
It's
Googles.
like the herp.
Mm-hmm.
Eating healthy. Oh, also, I want to put a disclaimer in here that I have done none of these things to help my anxiety. So, like, I've not even, like I said in the beginning, I'm undiagnosed. I haven't even seen a doctor. Russell said I need to, but here we are, and I'm still not eating healthy. So, you can also take probiotics. Limit caffeine.
Sips tea.
No alcohol.
Whoops.
Add
About last night.
30 Jell-O shots on Saturday. No smoking. I also want to point that as I was reflecting on myself today, I realized that my anxiety has gotten worse the last few years that I've smoked.
Yeah.
Like from before I smoked, when I was like 20. to after I smoked to now, I'm like, ugh, I need to quit smoking. Exercise, NERP, meditation, and yoga, which Russell tells me to do.
Yeah. The meditating part kills me though, 'cause like,
I can't.
You can't focus,
Dude.
Yeah.
This is what I've been saying. I'm like, how do you just clear your mind when I can't even go to sleep because I can't clear my mind?
Exactly.
Like we have had this argument. The texts are buried into the dark abyss of my phone, but we have had this argument, and those were my exact words. How the fuck am I supposed to clear my mind when I can't even sleep?
Yeah. If it was that easy, I would just fall asleep then.
That's what I said. I was like, no, I'll just sleep.
Yeah.
Like meditate, no sleep.
Yeah.
It just, I don't get it.
About as clear as my mind can be.
Exactly. And then I'm dreaming fucked up shit.
Yeah. The
So
stress dreams suck.
one thing I really do need to do that would probably help me 80%. Managing time to reduce stress. But it's a train reaction, because in order to manage my time, I need to get up earlier. And in order to get up earlier, I have to not be depressed. And in order to go to sleep earlier, I have to not have anxiety. So how do I go to bed early and get up early?
And that's one thing my doctor did say. She said, do it in the middle of your day. That way you're already up, you're already doing things, and you don't have to plan it at the beginning or end of your day. Because at the end of the day, you want to spend it with your friends and family, that type of thing. So she said, your lunch hour, what have you, just sit there and reflect, and that's your time. Honestly, take it to be your time. That way you don't have to get up any earlier, you don't go to bed any later. It's not really interfering with anything else. Like, it's just a time in the middle of the day where most people are at work, so you can just chill and do your own thing. Yeah. And I thought that was a good point, because I'm with you. Like, I'm not getting up any earlier just so I can meditate, because my ass is just going to fall back asleep. Yeah. Then. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, but if I, like, managing my time to reduce stress, like, if I got up earlier, I wouldn't be rushing to work.
True.
And I wouldn't get irritated about rushing, and that's one thing I need to do, but that's why I was like, I can't get up early, because I can't go to sleep early. But no one's the same, obviously, and anxiety webs into all kinds of different things. Just like research it, because you have like general anxiety, and then you go into PTSD, and then you go into all kinds of disorders. Anxiety. Yeah, social anxiety. Like, don't let us diagnose you with our symptoms. Like, if you relate to this, yeah, sure, cool. You are probably one of us. But if you feel like your emotions are interfering with daily life, that's when you should probably get help and go see someone. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, because I haven't, but fuck off, I don't have health insurance. So just give me a minute. But they also say if you have more than 6 symptoms on a majority of days, then you should go seek help. So kind of keep that in the back of your mind if you ever do want to know or how to better cope with these things. Also keeping a journal, we kind of talked about earlier, but more so using it to express your feelings and how you feel that day. So that way, when you're having a better day, you can go back on those days where you weren't having such a good day, and you can kind of reflect on them and understand them and rationalize them. Yeah. Instead of just being like, fuck, Mondays suck, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Why do they suck? Write down what happened. And then when Wednesday comes around or Friday and you're like, yeah, it's the weekend, go back to Monday and figure out why you had such a shitty day. Most likely it was your fault because you got irritated by something and it snowballed, because that's what happens to me. Yeah. So you can also use your journal and therapy to kind of go back to remind yourself of what you wanted to talk about that week. Be like, oh, well, 3 days ago this happened and this is how it made me feel, because you don't have to know it from memory. Yeah. Obviously your head's already full of all kinds of shit. You don't need to remember how you felt 3 days ago.
But also putting yourself on the spot makes me anxious. Yeah. Like my brain just shuts off then.
I'm like, I don't remember. Yeah. I don't have anything to talk about. Yeah. When we talk about what we're going to talk about, we both blank. Yeah. Until we sit there and think about it a while.
Oh shit, I did have these ideas.
Yeah.
And then have this exceptionally bad day.
Yeah. And then talking to just your friends and people that are supportive of you and will help you out and listen. Like me and Sarah, if you need us.
And that's
oh, sorry, go ahead.
one thing I will say is do find that person you trust. And I don't care if you have to say the same thing 6 times in order to make yourself feel better, then just do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many times I've told Corey a story. That rhymed. And it's the same story over and over again, but I feel better saying it. And that's what I tell him. I was like, I know you've heard this 25 times, but, like, me telling you this makes me feel better. He's like, then let's do it a 26th time.
Because then you're like, yeah, and like that one time that you already know about, but I need to bitch about it.
Exactly, yeah.
I feel ya.
Yeah. And just have that safe haven in a person.
Yeah, you gotta dig up old shit sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, or it's and off of that type of subject, like, well, this happened and this already pissed me off, so now this is the same type of thing, so I know that's a trigger.
Yeah.
So maybe stay away from that type of thing if you can avoid it. And that was another thing. She said to keep triggers down, like, oh, I was running really late to work and I just was in a ball of anxiety all day. We'll put running late as a trigger.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sometimes even food can make you feel anxious. Which is stupid, but caffeine is terrible.
Yeah, as we mentioned. But, like, sometimes smells make me anxious because they'll remind me of something.
Yes.
And I'm like, ugh, bad
this
memory.
This made me feel like kindergarten, and I did this then.
Yeah. I hate smelling kindergarten.
Yeah.
I cried every single day of kindergarten. I hated kindergarten. Kindergarten smells bad.
I don't think kindergarten was that. I didn't like my teacher, but yeah.
My teacher was a freaking angel.
You just hated it.
I didn't go to preschool. And so
this was your first.
Guess what? I had really bad separation anxiety at 6.
Yep.
So
that'll do it.
I used to cry. We only went half days. But I used to cry all damn day. Every day. I don't remember going to kindergarten and not crying. I think I did it the whole year.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. Somebody brought it up in high school, and I was like, fuck you, thanks.
Thanks,
like, remember when you cried every day of kindergarten? I went from kindergarten to, like, my senior year of no one bringing it up, and then
all of a sudden, right before we graduate,
bitch brought it up.
Remember that
I
one
just
time
laughed,
I punched
but
you in your fucking face?
I laughed, but man, that was a rough time for
rude.
me.
Yeah.
Kindergarten.
Like, I get social anxiety really bad too. Like, it's coming up on Christmas time, and you know all the stores are gonna be packed. Like, I avoid stores like the plague.
Yeah, 'cause people.
I hate people being around people.
I do anymore 'cause all the freaking violence, but we won't get into that. I don't like being in crowds now 'cause of that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to get out of here quickly.
Yeah.
I always find into the closest exits and escape routes when I'm in places like that, like concerts. I'm like, how the fuck can I get out of here?
Yeah. And that was us at the Lizzo concert. Like, I was very aware of all the people there. And then, even though it was outside, I felt very claustrophobic. And I looked at Corey, and he's
we were like stepping on people.
Yeah. People were literally in my ass crack.
Yeah.
And
literally. We're not exaggerating.
No. There were people in places they should not have been. And I just look over at Corey, and he looks back at me, and I, like, apparently have this same look every time I just get, like, freaked out.
Fuck out.
Because he literally just grabbed my hand and said, "We're going." And I was like, "Yes, please." And, like, he does know my cues and stuff when I get super anxious. And there's times where I've, like, had a shit day at work, and I come home, and I'm busting through the door, and I'm pissed off because it bounced off of one of his fucking shoes, and then it hits me, and then I'm pissed off.
It all snowballs every time.
Yeah, and then he literally just takes my purse off of me and then bear hugs me. And he's like, "Just breathe." And I was like, "Okay." And then after about 20 seconds of a big, giant ginger bear hug, I feel better. And he's like, "What happened?" And I tell him about it, and he's like, "I'll move my shoes. It won't happen again." Like, it hasn't happened again, but it's just like, and like you said, little things just set me off. Like, even if that was the only thing that had gone wrong that day and I was feeling anxious, just the fact that his shoes were in the way pissed me off.
Yeah. I have literally gotten home from McDonald's and cried because they've forgotten a sandwich or something.
Yeah.
because I've been like so frustrated. I'm just like, nothing's going right today, and now I can't even eat my food because it's at McDonald's. And
Yep.
yeah, that's all. That's my crying voice while I'm not crying.
Honestly, it was
Sorry.
pretty close.
Sorry for killing your ears. But yeah,
Awful.
I have stupid meltdowns all the time.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Me and Wolfie had a discussion the other day, actually, and he says he's very codependent, and I definitely am. Like, if someone I don't know isn't with me, I don't like to go to places by myself.
Yeah.
Like, if I have to, like Walmart to get our groceries, I'm in and out in half an hour with a week's worth of groceries. Like, I just get my stuff, like,
get your
tunnel
get
vision,
out. Yeah.
And, like, going into restaurants and eating by myself, that's not a thing.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'd rather eat in my car.
Yeah. Honestly, just get it and to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do stuff by myself. And then, yeah, Corey is a huge crutch of mine. Like, I lean on him very hard some days. But, I mean, he knows that, and I'm there for him, too. But that's another thing I will say. Like, if you and your partner suffer from something, it's very easy to pull the other one down. Because there's times where he's having a great day or whatever, but I'm down. I can instantly see, like, something click in him, too. And, like, we bring each other down sometimes.
When Russell lays in bed all day, I want to lay in bed all day.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Like, I've called into work just to sleep with him. Like, literally. Yeah. Like, nap.
Yeah.
Just because
that's all you can
needed.
do.
Yeah.
And, yeah, there's some days where, like, just getting up and bathing and feeding yourself is too much. And there's days where we've done that and just laid in bed all day long until the next day. But that's another thing I can't preach enough. Like, I know jobs are important and stuff like that, but also take care of yourself.
Yeah.
They'll find someone to replace you before, like, the ink's even dried on your resignation letter. Like, they don't care. They will replace you. They will find a warm body. Take care of yourself.
And other places are hiring if they do.
Exactly.
So,
and I'm not saying call in. Else. Yeah, don't call in every day. Like, if it's an actual necessity, like,
if you need a mental health day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't feel bad. That was my biggest issue. I always felt so bad.
Me too.
Like, I cannot call in unless I am fucking dying. Like, head in the toilet or migraine where I can't drive.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, I literally can't drive to work.
Yeah.
Because if I leave the bed, I'm going to throw up or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And, like, my last job was a corporate salon, and, like, they would be so pissed off if I called off. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't want to have sharp objects around people's heads while I can't fucking see. Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah.
How does that make any sense? Like, oh, you need to be here because we need you. Okay, I'll stab Jeffrey in the face because I'm falling over because my head hurts so bad.
Yeah. Sometimes when I get migraines, my eyes will cross and shit. Like, I'll get double vision. I guess my eyes don't cross. I probably just get double vision.
Well, yeah, either way. Sometimes it feels like they're pulling,
to me in my eyes, it looks like my eyes are crossed, but I don't look in a mirror when I have a migraine.
Right. You're like, I'm in a very dark room covered up
with the AC on.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you
cold,
get hot. I
cold,
get
dark
cold.
room.
I need 7 blankets. I'm always freezing when I get a migraine.
Nope. I gotta have it cold. It's like when you're drunk and you have to have the air on you because you're nauseous. Yeah, when I'm nauseous, I have to be cold.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, don't ever feel bad about taking time off work to give your brain a break.
Yeah.
And if your boss is mad at you, fuck them.
Yeah.
I mean, like, don't get fired, but, like, just don't care that they're mad at you. Yeah. And I know if you have anxiety, that's hard, but try not to care.
Yes. And that's what Corey would tell me. He's like, you literally can't even walk down our stairs right now. Don't feel bad. And I'm already crying.
So much.
Yeah. Yep.
No.
And I was like, I didn't even find a replacement. And he's like, that's why they pay your manager more than you. Like, she's the one that has to figure it out. So let her. I was like, I know, but then I go back and everybody hates me. Well, at the end of the day, they didn't. They understood, and I felt better at the end of the day for staying home.
See, I was the manager, so I'm like, I have to go in. No one's there.
Yeah.
So some days I'd just go in for a few hours till someone else got there, and then I'd leave.
Yeah.
Because I was puking or whatever. So I'm like, don't. Usually when they saw me, they weren't mad at me anymore because I looked like I had been puking all day. One day, my store manager had to drive me home. I was puking with a migraine so bad. Yeah. Yeah, so take mental health day or you'll end up like me and puke at work with migraine. Because I definitely needed one that day.
Yeah.
And I didn't take one. So, yeah.
Also,
what else?
if your kids talk about having stomach aches and stuff a lot, that might be a sign.
That's anxiety. My stomach always hurt when I was little.
Yeah, if they're wanting to stay home all the time and stuff like that, don't let them stay home 5 and 6 times a week. But if it's once a month where they just can't muster the courage to get up and go to school or whatever, don't make them.
Or take them out early and take them to like lunch or something because that'd be like a cool surprise for them.
Yeah, they're already having a bad day, but
they're
make
not
it better.
missing it.
Yeah,
they're not missing the whole day.
Yeah.
Because sometimes schools have strict rules now where they can't, like, miss.
It's
like work. It's, like, six
or
every
8
year
days
or
or
whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
But, yeah, kids have anxiety, too, so take care of your babies.
Yep. But also take care of yourself so you can be there for them.
That's right.
We're all about self-care and fixing problems.
Improving your lifestyle.
Yeah. Just what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't
establish healthier coping mechanisms, but that's not the right word. Just establish
boundaries.
Yeah.
Working 17 days in a row breaks those boundaries.
Yeah. And that was the thing too. Like I was just working way too many hours, pushing myself far too thin, stretching myself far too thin, and
I don't know if it was about work, but that's the only thing I could see boundaries applying to. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a quick fact before we go that I forgot to say earlier, and it surprised me, and I don't want to not say it. The average onset for anxiety is 11 years old.
I believe that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's because you're going into middle school and all your friends are judging you, and then you feel judged, and then you feel anxiety and paranoid, and that's when it starts. Fucking middle school. Middle school sucks.
Yeah.
Freaking sucks.
11, man.
Yeah. That's like, that'd be about 6th grade.
No, I think it was 4th grade. I feel like I was
11?
I think I was 11 in 4th grade. But I was also like 6 when I started kindergarten. So 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that would be like 5th grade-ish. Yeah. But I'm also older. I was like a year older than people in our class, I think.
Yeah, I think I was in 6th grade. For most of my 11. I don't know. My birthday's in December.
Probably with you being in December, yeah.
Either way, 5th, 6th grade, that's middle school.
Yeah, you're still young.
And, ugh. Yeah. Everyone's weird, and you still feel weird about yourself, even though looking back, all the prettier girls still looked weird.
We all couldn't straighten our hair, curl our hair, or wear makeup.
They're so pretty. I wish I was more like her. And then you look at your yearbook and you're like,
yeah.
What was I thinking?
What the fuck are up with those eyebrows? Why did I think that was cute?
Yeah. We all looked weird.
Yeah.
Even the pretty girls.
Yeah.
And we
couldn't
all had
straighten
acne.
our hair worth of shit. Couldn't curl our hair.
The raccoon eyeliner.
Oh, God. Yeah, we all rocked that. Black on top and bottom.
Yes.
And smoke that shit out.
Top and bottom.
Yep. Really wanted to close off my little almond eyes.
Well, that's all I got. You have any more for us?
Don't think you're a failure.
Yes.
Because even if you haven't been clinically diagnosed, even if you're just showing some of these symptoms or whatever, don't think there's something wrong with you. Don't treat it as there's something wrong with you. Just, it's part of life. And then we can all get through it together. Because that took me a long time to understand that we can't always do it all ourselves.
Yeah.
We need help sometimes.
It's not healthy to. It's too much. That's why we are with people. That's why we work with people. That's why we live with people. That's why we go to school with people. Like, we're supposed to lean on other people for help, and we're supposed to interact with people. And, like, that's why we're humans. So don't feel like you're alone, because you just need to find a person to lean on.
And I mean, it doesn't even have to be a romantic partner. I mean, it could literally be your next door neighbor.
Best friend, grandma, sister,
whoever.
cousin, random person on the internet that you play games with. You can talk to them if you trust them. I mean, I know tons of people make internet friends. I can't. It's weird for me, but I don't come off as well in text, I guess.
Text is hard to convey.
But, like, everyone's got somebody, and if you don't, hit us up, and we'll be your somebody.
100%. Anytime.
Not romantically, though. We're both spoken for.
Yes.
But we'll be a friend.
Yes. Absolutely.
Alrighty. I think that's all we got this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. We love you lots, and we will talk to you later. Bye.